estas? Cremvase azantes. Welcome, video lovers. Welcome to Tac Nerd 1.0. Fellow humans, there's something about the feel of a revolver. There's just something about it. Been thinking about this a lot lately. Maybe it's the history, the mechanics, maybe that pure mechanical feel of a revolver. Something about it. Just the way they feel in the hand. In a world filled with high-capacity semi-autos, you might be wondering, do revolvers still have a place in 2025? Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about that topic, and we're going to see if these venerable old wheel guns are still worth carrying, shooting, and owning. So let's get into it. All right, folks. So let's talk a little bit about the history of revolvers first. Revolvers have been around since 1800s, really. They really, and honestly, other than a few tweaks here and there, they really haven't changed that much. They're reliable, they're simple, easy to operate, and unlike semi-autos, there's no slide to rack or magazines to worry about. You load your rounds in the cylinder, close it up, and you are good to go. Revolvers come mainly in two types, sort of three. You've got single action and double action. Now, single actions, those are going to be like your old Colt Peacemakers and all of the clones that exist. Now, I actually have a Heritage Rough Rider on the way from a rebate from Heritage, and I wish I had it. I would have used that one as an example. Now, that's a single action. You've also got double actions like this revolver here. Now, the single actions like the Heritage and like the Colts, they require you're going to need to cock the hammer back every time before you shoot. Those are, like your old cowboy guns, basically. They're cool, but not the most practical for self-defense even today. Now, double actions, on the other hand, those will let you fire just by pulling the trigger. And now those make those more practical and pretty much the same sort of action that you're going to expect with even the semi-autos. You one pull, one shot, basically, is what it is. And basically what happens with these double actions and why they call them that is, take a look just to make sure. So you're going to pull the trigger, and as you pull the trigger, the hammer comes back. That's two actions happening. So that is your double action. Your single action is you pull the trigger, or you pull the hammer back, then you pull the trigger. That's a single action. Now, so double actions, those are basically what we're going to consider when we consider relevance. And as I said, there's sort of three. I think you could kind of say the old cap and ball revolvers. That's kind of a third category, but those technically are not considered firearms. I don't know if we'd want to consider those, and honestly, I don't think anyone would carry one of those for self-defense anyways, although I'm sure that I say that there'll be a ton of people that come down here and tell me that they carry their cap and ball revolver every day. So like I said, basically two, kind of three. As far as calibers go, let's talk about calibers. The most commonly carried caliber for the revolvers, I'm going to say most likely that's going to be your 38 Special and 357. Either or both if you have a 357. Now this one is in 38. This is a newer revolver. This is a Ruger, and I got this a few years ago. This is just really your basic kind of revolver. It's a Ruger LCR. It's their 3-inch variety. These are kind of very nice, simple, multi-purpose firearms. Really kind of a camping firearm in many ways. You can take this with you on a boat or something, or just camping or outdoors activities. It's got the frame. I mean, there's a metal frame around where it's fired. As far as the grip, though, that is polymer. It does make it lighter, but I've heard that a scandium and aluminum framed Smith & Wesson will weigh even less than a comparable polymer framed gun. So a lot of times it doesn't matter. But I got this a few years ago. I do have a couple other revolvers. I have my father's carry revolver. It's a Smith & Wesson 38. And I also have it. I've shown it before on my channel. I have my grandfather's K22 Masterpiece, but that I don't really get out too often. So, but this will serve as enough for our example. And as I said, it is the most commonly carried caliber. Now, because 357 can shoot 38, there's a lot of companies that will just make a 357 because it's cheaper for them to just make one firearm, because again 357 can shoot 38 but not the reverse. The 38s require they have less chamber pressure, so it's generally a lighter firearm, but the 357 does offer you more flexibility. There is a component of people out there that claim that firing continuously 38s through your 357 will ruin it. I think that's kind of, I'm sure there is maybe some evidence for it. It's a little far out there though. And honestly, for most people, I don't think that's going to matter. So, but again, just remember that 357 is probably going to be your most versatile caliber out there. So let's move into section 2, uses for revolvers. Now, I already got into this a bit. Revolvers make great camping guns. They make great wilderness guns, hiking guns. But what else? What do you think you can do with a revolver? Well, quite a bit, actually. For personal defense, snub-nose revolvers, like the Smith & Wesson Model 642, are compact, lightweight, super reliable. They don't jam. They're just very, very easy to carry in the pocket or in a holster. Now, for home defense, a more medium frame revolver like the Ruger GP100 and 357, that's a solid choice. They are heavy, but they're well made, and the extra weight tends to tame down that recoil. So, and then plus you get a few more shots with those. 6 versus 5. These small carry types usually are just going to be 5. Now, for hunting, for serious hunting, and a lot of people do hunt with handguns, with revolvers. For hunting, though, you probably want to look at a bigger caliber, probably something like a 44 Magnum, or even maybe something like 45 Colt, or even the 454 Casull. Those are going to pack enough punch to take down pretty much whatever you're going to come across. But remember, with pistol hunting, you're probably going to want to get a little closer. It is something more of a challenge. That's why a lot of people like it. So what next? Well, how about just target shooting? Well, man, revolvers, just plain absolute fun there. And that's where you get into using something like a 22 revolver, like that Heritage I was talking about. In single action 22, that's going to be loads of fun at the range. You're going to get a lot of time to take a lot of shots. It's going to take you a long time to burn through a big box of 22 ammo. So lots of fun. Great teaching tool, great for getting someone used to shooting some of the bigger calibers out there. Okay, so section 3, some affordable and dependable revolvers. How about a few that you could look at? Let's say you listen to this video, you're thinking about it, you're thinking about maybe trying a few. Well, let's take a look at the Taurus revolvers. Now, you can find a lot of Taurus revolvers in 38 Special. There's the 856. This is a little 6-shot revolver, great for concealed carry. I think there's a 605, I believe it is. That's a 357. I think I had one of those at one point. Those are real nice. Taurus can make some pretty nice revolvers. What else do you want to look at? Well, there's the Ruger Wrangler in 22 LR, and that is a single action, also very similar, in fact, to the Heritage. Pretty much almost a copy, I would say. The Ruger, you're looking at probably 250 to 300 quatlus. The Heritage, if you find a good sale like over Christmas or something like, Black Friday, you can get a Heritage for probably 100 quatlus. Or like the rebate that I bought that Heritage lever action, and it came with a rebate for a Heritage Rough Rider. So think about those as well. The other thing you should look at is the Rock Island M200. And I don't have one of those, but I'll bring up a picture of one. Those have been around forever. They're kind of a copy of a Colt, one of the older Colt snub nose. There is a 2-inch, like a snubby, and then there's a 3-inch, similar in size to this, that Rock Island makes. Both of those, they're solid. I mean, solid in price, solid in reliability, and just plain solid. It's an all metal gun, wood frame. I think one of them does come with a rubber frame, but they're nice weapons for, like, probably, again, on a good sale, maybe 200 quatlus. Got a friend that got one of those, couple friends, I think, and they are solid. They're 38 special, really nice guns for the price. I know a lot of people that want to have a gun but don't want to have a lot of guns, or just don't want to have a lot of them, will go out and grab one. Retailers, there's a lot of like a lot of retailers like Runnings and Dunham's and places like that regularly will have these. I mean, they pretty much will have them in stock all the time, the Rock Islands, and they'll have sales on them all the time. So look out for those. If you just want to grab something and have a little fun with it, I would suggest either the Rock Island or the Heritage Rough Rider. Those are good, solid guns for the money. All right, what about revolvers in pop culture? Let's move into section 4. This is going to be a big one. Revolvers have been icons of pop culture for probably over a century. Everybody remembers, think Dirty Harry, his 44 Magnum, Rick Grimes in The Walking Dead with his Colt Python, or even the classic cowboy 6-shooters from Westerns. What else? Yellowstone, they still use, I think they use Colts in there even. And you go to some of the other in Taylor Sheridan's shows, I think 1923 and 1833 or 1823, both of those are going to have revolvers in them as well. Shows like Hell on Wheels, those are going to be mainly cap and ball, but those are going to be revolvers as well. They're all over pop culture, even today. You'll see them pop up in movies, video games, TV shows. They represent power and reliability and really that old school cool. There's just something about seeing like the click of those cylinders and the sounds when they come up. You'll see this in movies and TVs. Unfortunately, it's such a predominant sound because it's been in pop culture for so long. You know, people will bring up that gun and they'll hear that click. The problem is it's become such a staple in sound recording for Foley guys. They even add that sound in nowadays with something like Glocks or striker fired guns in cop shows. You know, when you see them, the cop will whip out a Glock or a Smith & Wesson or something like that, and you'll hear that click sound. Obviously, that doesn't go there, but it's because the population has gotten that so ingrained that a gun makes some sort of click sound that they just keep adding that in. Watch for that in the next show that you watch, for that in the next cop show you watch. I bet you'll catch that here and there. Okay, so folks, probably going on too long. So what are conclusions? Are revolvers still relevant in 2025? Well, they may not have the capacity of a semi-auto, but they do make up for it, I believe, with simplicity, reliability, and just sheer fun at the range. Whether you need one for self-defense, for hunting, or just to enjoy at the range, there is a revolver out there for you. And if you're worried about reloading, there are other things out there to reload with. You've got these cylinder reloaders here, or strips like this that you can carry. Is it as quick as putting in a new magazine? No, not anywhere close. But will it work? Yeah, it'll work. And there are other revolvers out there. You can get them cylinder cut for moon clips. Those will make it even quicker. Moon clips are similar concept to these, but you put the whole thing in the cylinder. You don't have to do any twisty stuff like that. So, folks, I hope this video brought something to your attention. I hope you enjoyed this. Give it some thoughts. Think about it. Let me know down below. Do you have any revolvers? Do you carry them yourself readily? Do you hunt with them? Do you target shoot with them? What do you think? Are you a new firearms owner? Do you collect any? Do you own any revolvers, or are you planning to own any revolvers? Let us know what you think. And do you think these are still relevant today? Do you carry them? I'll tell you, I do carry this quite often. It's very comfortable. It's small and it's very light. And if you're just going to pop out for a few minutes and you don't want to take anything else, this is a great thing to put in a holster and get in your belt. If you've got a snubby, you can, a lot of times people will pocket carry them. You can find ones with bobbed hammers, and that's it. Very simple. So again, let us know what you thought. Give me some ideas down below. Again, let me know what you think. Well, there you have it, fellow humans. Another day in the wasteland. If you feel this guide has been useful, don't forget to hit that like button and make sure you are subscribed so you are ready for whatever the apocalypse throws at us next. Drop a comment down below with your own survival tips and what you would like to see in the next episode. If you feel you have been so entertained, consider throwing us a super thanks, as well as joining as a member, making me your guide through the wastelands. Until next time.
Probability of Chinese victory. Impossible.